So while I was working on my character, I realized actually I was working on it when I was putting the SDKs for doing like curls and spread for these tails fins here. I realized after doing a lot of work up to curls that the orientations on these joints here were messed up. If you look right here, Y's will be pointing backwards except for this one, which is off by like 45 degrees. So if you notice right here, other way around, I try to rotate this. These two will rotate properly on the z-axis, but this one is slanted. Now, while I was working my curls, I didn't realize this until I got my spreads, which, when you're doing like this stuff, they get really, really messed up. So I had to go back and figure out how the heck would I reorient all these joints, and I had never actually done that before. So this is just a little quick tip on how you can orient your joints here. Now, first, I'm going to show one way that I tried doing at first, but I mean, it didn't work for me, so it kind of wasn't like the best way to deal with this. So, for example, right here, if so right now the orientations are completely off compared to this one, where the Y's go kind of the way you expect it in this case. So, like trying to rotate like that would just put a whole bunch of rotations on X, Y, and Z, which is what we don't want. We want it to just be on the Y, just like that. So, when I was first trying to do, I was like, okay, let me change the rotation. So I'll click D. I'll try to change this, and then I would kind of get out and leave like that. But I was kind of curious to why like that wasn't working. I had to keep readjusting it. So kind of playing around, fidgeting with stuff. I noticed if you did pin component pivot, it would stick to it. So it would work like this. You click D, get to the right place about, get out of there, then it'll stick with it, which I'm not exactly sure why it does this, but it kind of works if you never tried it before. But it still puts all those junk rotations on there that we don't want, but it does rotate at least in the right direction. So if you're just doing from bottom, I'm pretty sure this would be very helpful. So do that. Now what you want to do actually to orient these properly is go into your skeleton menu, go to orient joint, go to the options, and in here you have all these options you can use to reset it. Now I found the way to work with this is that you have to, I mean, you basically have to kind of almost play like, I don't know, like Russian roulette, just try all the options, figure out which one will work for you, because I don't really understand 100% how this all works. As some of these options will work for example, like you'll see in a little bit, like these two will work the way you expect, but these two, then these four, you have to change it around. As I'm not sure why, but the axes will flip on you, and I'll show you this just in a moment. So for this one right here, I'll just click apply and see what happens. Oh, also I forget, you also want to take off the parent. Like this one, for example, is a proxy rig, so I want to have it. No. So if you have like your drawing overrides for enable or overrides for just the reference turn off temporarily, find all these ones right here. Open these all up. Get rid of your parent constraints on all of them, as it will mess it up trying to reorient the joints. You can always reparent them back in. I already tested this out and it works fine for me. So maybe there's a problem later on. Maybe someone can point it out. But I noticed that this so far is working fine for me. What I'm going to be demonstrating here, and you'll see at the end, that'll be fine. So remove all these parent constraints, so the joints aren't moving them anymore. Now go back here. Okay, translation's good. So now let's click apply, and you'll see that they're all oriented the way I want them to. Now I think as long as X is pointing that way, it'll be fine. Now whether it's Z or Y or whatever pointing, but it doesn't matter. Like if Y was pointing the other way and Z was pointing this way instead of to the left, I think it'd be fine. But this way it just works perfectly fine. All I care about is the Y goes forward and Z goes left to right. So I'll do the same thing for this one. That one looks okay now. I'll do for this one, and then for some reason it flips over there. Now I'm not sure if that's to deal with the world orientation, like it seems like it's. I think these ones kind of rest on top of the world 0, 0, and then these ones are kind of more to the negative side. So I'm not sure if that's screwing up. So I found that if you just like, for example, you just get playing with all these options, you like that. I guess that one actually just fixed it before. I remember before I was like trying to play with all these X, Y, and Z, trying to get the right combination. So some of these you have to, for example, just change it to negative, and just flip it, and then all of these will work just fine. And once that's all done, you can go back and reparent everything. Once you have everything parented, it'll work fine. Because when I was first testing, or at least doing my SDKs for this, doing like the curls and spread, I knew the curl was kind of screwed up, but my brain kind of ignored it. I didn't really think much about it. I thought maybe that was kind of alright. But then with my spreads, everything was really, really messing up. So I went back, checked my orientation, I was like, oh crap. So if you have another problem where your joints are not oriented and you're not trying to fix them, just remember to go to your skeleton, go to orient joint, go right here. And I think by default the options are okay. If they're not, you can always mess around with it. And you can always change the plus or Y if the orientations are being flipped on you for whatever reason. Plus and minus, and that should work for you. So now that I know that all my joints are oriented in the right way, now I can go back to my other one that I'm working on and put the SDKs in properly. So that's what I'll be doing next. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps anyone who has problems with trying to get your orientations all correct and everything. Just use the orient joint, whatever thing, just to get it to work. Yeah, that'll be all.